before we get started, one of the things I mentioned yesterday was how Mega Man is dead. It has been for 8 years now or something. It's been a minute. Like, Mega Man's just dead in the water. And at a shareholders report, this was earlier this year or last year, actually, forget which, don't ask me. They actually flat out said, we have absolutely no interest in touching Mega Man. We're never touching it again. When specifically asked by a shareholder during a shareholder meeting. So there was a post yesterday, literally yesterday, which was their integrated report. And they mentioned something which says, and I quote, they're going to be introducing, they're going to be expanding their Osaka development hub and focusing on trying to support future new releases, remakes, or ports of Mega Man, Devil May Cry, and Ace Attorney. 3 IPs which are all dead, actually. Every single one of those is dead. So that makes sense. We'll see if that ever goes anywhere. By the way, Devil May Cry 5 may sound like a recent game, but it kind of is, but it's been 6 years. So, and there's nothing that hasn't budged in it. There's not even plans. So I just thought that was funny, and I totally take credit for that. All right, so back into the game. All right, so I suppose we'll go ahead and go back to Pitch Black here. See if we can find Vin Diesel. I would have to work really hard to come up with a worse scenario than that. Heck. I'm sure I could. It would take some work. Oh yeah, low percent run on this game would be absolutely terrible. I would never do that. As I mentioned yesterday, the game is very clearly balanced around you getting Kit. In fact, the thing that was kind of throwing me yesterday was what the game clearly wanted me to do, was to partially do several stages and not fully do stages. To go get gear, then go ahead and start actually clearing. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread that act. That's not the news story I thought you were talking about. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So this is what happens when you get caught, by the way. Anyway, so Netflix owning Warner's would be terrible. So would Paramount. They're both terrible choices. They suck in both directions. There's no winners there. That's just awful. I thought you meant Netflix, who's been workshopping options to buy Disney. That is the one that I would struggle to come up with something worse than. Yeah, I was just trying to remember if I'd actually gotten it in this timeline or whatever you want to call that. I guess it saves all progress anyways. So, it's more like Netflix executives are currently looking into buying Disney. Better way to phrase that. They haven't even actually started the paperwork for what that would be involved in. But yeah, that is something that is being looked into. Oh, I see it. Damn it. Oh, I had it too. There we go. That is trickier than it looks. We're up to 15 lives, though. It's the same upgrade, digital. That gives me this. That's what you're referencing. Oh no, it would be insane. It would be one of the most overtly, obviously antitrust things ever. Or, sorry, pro-trust things ever. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah, if that happens, then any pretension of antitrust laws have gone completely out the window. That was close. Yeah, whatever. That was the light source. I also didn't see those spikes. Well, good thing I got all those lives. Come on. Oh, this is interesting. There we go. I brought my own flashlight. I didn't already get this. Okay. Oh, no, I did. Okay, I was going to say. Thought I did? I did. Recall. I think I technically already have all the items on this stage, because we got them last time we were here. No! Okay, boss time. I mean, so I had a couple of people yesterday be like, how is this different from X8? And I can never tell if someone's joking when they say something like that. Because this is so different from X8, it's not even comparable. This is a different game. The only thing that's the same is the names, the dialogue, and the music. Some people forget that X8 had this whole, like, grind mechanic in order to get metal, in order to buy lives. You could also, like, they had the weird continue mechanic, which was just kind of awkward and unusual. It also had the multiple party members, which you could swap between in the middle of combat, or rather in the middle of a stage. This is none of that. Yeah, this is I shouldn't say just. This is more of a, a SNES-style X1, X2, or X3 version, based on the same thing. And yeah, also you had to upgrade all three of them, and it was incredibly grindy. This version doesn't even have the 3 support people. In fact, Ailey has only made 1 appearance, which probably says something about this developer's opinion of the supports. And the support people, in addition to being, underboob, also had... they had different functionality depending on who you brought to the mission. They would give you different hints, which was actually kind of a cool feature. But my point is, none of that is in this game. So. Hey, oh wait, we've actually already read this dialogue, so we're just gonna skip through this. I mean, I'm pretty sure this game is going to score better than the original did. He hurts. He hurts. Homing missiles. And Giant Beam of Death. Which is what Noctis's real name is. Giant Beam of Death. Okay, what did we miss? Nothing. We got everything. Cool. Thank you, Noctis, for this up, as always. In a moment, I will jot that down. Expedition 33, Hyrule Warriors 3, and Epic Battle Fantasy 1 through 4, which happens to include 3. Yeah, no, the biggest problem, I've actually already jotted this down. The biggest problem this game has, it is clearly balanced around people who, A, already know what the hell they're doing, and are pretty good at it, and B, are geared. I would go so far as to say none of the levels are designed around just the usual Mega Man approach, which is you've got some levels that are more approachable, some levels that are less approachable. Instead, you've got levels where you're supposed to jump in and get the upgrades, and then leave, and then get other upgrades, and then leave, and then so forth and so on. Instead of, you know, the Mega Man game. Also, yeah, the bosses in this game are absolutely bonkers. I know I kind of made that fight look easy, but I still had to pop a sub-tank. Sorry, 1 second. Ah! Notes. Okay, so that was Pitch Black. I suppose... What are we supposed to do next? Hang on. What do we got? We just did Pitch Black. We've done Dynasty. So yeah, Central White is actually supposed to be next. Interesting. We've actually done that stage several times now. Oh yeah, little details can change things substantially. That's something I talked about a lot when we were doing the Mega Man series. And the significance of things like the rush upgrades, which some people are like, eh, but no, it actually noticeably changed the game. Because those little details matter. Here, let's just hop into this. I mean, this is always going to happen. The last WoW patch went live last week? No, 2 weeks ago now. I think it was last week. Anyways, point being, it's good to go. The War Within content is done, so... And it's been funded. Sorry, I'm updating the Mega Man sheet. Fun fact, I have a Mega Man sheet which I use. It's actually... So, what I like to do is I like to do direct comparisons of specific elements. Why does everyone keep typing next? It hasn't changed. Ah. It's actually the audit. Yeah, it's systematic comparisons, exactly. I name it that because I originally was using it for the Mega Man review, like 2 or 3 years ago, however long it was now. But I've been using it ever since for specific comparisons of specific components of games. You know, it probably says something that one of the most unimpressive weapons so far is the homing missiles. It's the damage. They do very little damage for being homing. Then again, I can spam them. Yeah, they literally look like arrows. And yeah, I get it. Arrows are supposed to be low damage, because that's a thing for some reason. Carry it all the way up here. Also, the homing seems to react strangely, I've noticed. One thing I will give the game credit for, and I've noticed this the whole playthrough, I swear he ups the drop rate of like health ups and weapon ups. Which is good, because you freaking need them for how much damage you're taking the whole time. Okay, so we need to do this at a jump. What else we got? Nice and steady. No, 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 no! God damn it. I want all the items, okay? I don't know what you want from me. No, I meant like in video games, Dakota. Like, have you ever noticed that? Arrows are almost always the low damage option. In pretty much everything. There is no difficulty selector that I'm aware of. Oh, that was still barely. Made it, though. Okay. The double jump completely cancels momentum. I didn't notice that earlier. That's an interesting thing to have happen. Sure, I can work with that. See more of this fight then, because usually I kill it too quickly. Speaking of, it is exactly the same. It's one of the only parts that's just copy-pasted. Oops. Oh well. So now we just have a spread shot. This wasn't already ridiculous enough how much we could just delete enemies. Yeah, X8's music was... I don't know if I would say it's the worst of the Mega Man series, but... just weaker. I honestly think X7 has a better soundtrack. Yes, I know, I understand. Ah! Why? Whoa. There we go. Get off the thing. There we go. I thought something like this might happen. Okay, head part. Increase your weapon's charge speed while equipped. Yeah, I would say this is probably the second worst music of the Mega Man series. Of the main lines. I do not mean that as an insult, to be clear. That is pretty fast. Look at that. Thank you for the sub, Venters, as always. Give me a second. Tweak it into R, Triangle Strategy, and Wing Commander. I mean, that is a thing, Lunarith, but I'm not sure why exactly. Okay, so this guy's weak to lightning, supposedly. Let's try it. I don't know, it's kind of debatable between this and X5, both of which have pretty soundtracks. Or sorry, this and X6, excuse me, X6. I'm evil. Oh, that is a huge iframe period. Here's his desperation. We've actually seen this before. Goodbye. Yeah, the visuals of this game are bonkers. There's a reason that story score is so high. 1 second, please. Do we miss anything? We did. We missed something. Well, let's head back. Yeah, I was actually challenging myself to see if I could think of a worse armor suit in the X series than the modular armor of X8. I couldn't come up with anything. Even the basic armor in X1 is just better than this nonsense. Yeah, I could see Command Mission. I tend to forget about Command Mission. Ugh. We don't talk about the gacha. The best looking X armor? Honestly, my first thought is, I believe it's the Giga suit from Vix? That doesn't sound right. Hang on a sec. Here we go. Okay, so no, my bad. That's actually 5. Gaia armor was 5. It was Gaia, not Giga. So yeah, we just have the armor in 1. In 2, we have the armor again. It's more red this time. In 3, it's the armor again. 3 looked really cool. I did like 3. But 4 has the 4th armor, which is the default for a reason. 5 has Falcon armor, which looks badass, and Gaia armor, which is very badass. I wasn't a big fan of Blade armor in 6. I actually liked Shadow armor. That's the ninja suit in 6. Glide armor in 7 is dumb, and 8 armor is this. Like, to really emphasize this. Oh my god, I forgot what the new armor looked like in Command Mission. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. So first of all, here's the ultimate armor. You know what? I can do this differently. Give me a second. Here is the ultimate armor from 8. It looks like that. Yeah, that's not great. So this is hey, it gets worse. This is this is from the mobile game. This is the gacha game. This is actually specifically inspired by the Devil May Cry crossover they did. They actually have several of these for the Oh my god, look at that. Look at that nonsense. Even, like, the basic armor is just, eh. Whoops. But yeah, so to show this all off, so here we go. So here's the Command Mission armor. It sure is armor. I showed you 8. Here's 7's. This is Glide armor. It's basically just a poor man's Falcon armor. There's the Shadow armor. I still think that looks cool. I don't even care. Blade Armor's fine. Blade Armor's just a variant on 4th. I think this is still my favorite. Gaia Armor still looks like X, and just adds that chonkiness to it, right? It looks like armor, right? I actually do enjoy that suit quite a bit. Here's the other one from 5, which is the Falcon suit. Falcon suit is basically 4th armor with the blades, the wings. Speaking of which, here's the iconic one, the 4th armor. So called because it's from Mega Man X4. And then, like, you got these ones. There's 3s, 2s, and 1s, which are all pretty similar to each other overall. Hence the blue and the white, if you were wondering, by the way. So most of these are actually pretty solid up until 6, I would say. And then they just dive off of a cliff instantly. Yeah, the sprites look a little bit different. Let's see if I can get a good shot of the sprite here. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Behold, check out that awesome sprite. Okay, so... Hang on, that's not good. See if I can get a good shot of this one. I probably can't. Yeah, no, it's just... Behold. Whatever, you get the general idea. You know, if I really cared... To do, of course. This is Gaia Armor. It admittedly looks a little bit dorkier in-game, not gonna lie. But I still like it for what it's worth. And of course, for you guys, let's go over to X4, which I think I just passed. There it is. And here's the 4th armor. And yeah, 4th armor does look pretty solid, not gonna lie. Actually, yeah, Blades of All, I can see that. X4 continues to have great sprite designs. More shock. Oh, and just while I'm here, hang on a sec. To defend myself a little bit with the Shadow Armor. I actually think the Shadow Armor looks better in-game, because it looks like that. Okay, so anyways, sorry. Let's find the item we missed, shall we? Can I pause this? There we go. So okay, I actually found a walkthrough last night to find some items. So let's see what we missed, shall we? Actually, I think I even know where it is. Okay, so there's the item we did get. So while we watch the video here. Where's my ice? Oh my god. Oh my god, look at it. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my god. I was so distracted. Did I miss the item? Yeah, we have officially gotten the spread fire. Look at this. Look at this. What's our charge attack? Hang on. Oh my god, it's a shuriken. I know, right, Dakota? Like, I remember the Sigma stages sucking in the original. Like, just instant death spikes everywhere. and no checkpoints across huge swaths of nonsense, and having to do the entire the entire stage over if you die in the boss fight. Why would it drop, Metashinryu? So I have a specific part equipped, which makes it... So, right, I didn't actually get to show that off properly. So there's two parts for the guns. One makes the normal shots, this, cost no energy. The other makes the charged shots cost no energy. Now, I like this, because I like just being able to have infinite ammo. But, realistically speaking, the other one's probably actually better. Just being able to spam the charge shots, especially with the faster charge helmet we have, yeah, that's probably overpowered as hell. Hold on, I just saw the item. What was that? Let's do the mini-boss. Wait, hang on. Where is this? There it is. So where? Okay, so it's almost immediately after the mini-boss. Okay. Mini-boss is dead. Instead of going up, we're going to go down this time. Come on. Nope. So we gotta go down again, but not here. There, yep, there it is. Okay. I'm missing a sub-tank. I have all the armor. Oh, I haven't done the last stage yet. Right, yes, okay. Duh. Makes sense. Okay. I think I'm just missing the one item from here, which is the sub-tank. Trying to see where it is, too. Yeah, the chicken was just insane, if you remember. We actually had poked at this fight before. This might actually be the hardest fight of all of them, right up there with the Mantis. I cannot imagine doing this without the armor upgrades. I'll try to just hang for a second to really show off his attacks, because his attacks are stupid. I always hold on to my old RAM act. But it is my old RAM. It is not as good. I'm as screwed as anybody. This is so stupid. I thought the lightning was stupid. This is insane. It's really just the spread gun from Contra. I have no idea, act. I'd have to go dig it out, and it's in the basement right now, and I don't feel like it. Yep. The stone one bounces. It's technically even more overpowered. Oh, shoot. That's my fault. Yeah, pretty much Maverick. I'm too experienced to let go of old electronics just because they're old. Welcome to probably one of the only bad stages of the game, but and that's before we get to the bug. Yeah, that bug right there. Hey, Zalok. Have you played this one yet? At least the music and the visuals kind of indicate you should probably run. Right? Like, it's not just complete bullcrap. Well, shoot. I missed the item. What? Ah! It's very artificial, Dr. Winter. The problem is what's going on right now with the AI bubble is actually kind of complicated and has to do with how debt works. Imagine for a moment that I wanted you to give me all of your corn, okay? No, I actually saw where it was. I just forgot to go get it. I was spacing, and that's my fault. I was talking to Zalok. I shouldn't have been talking to Zalok. That's my fault. Anyway, so I want you to give me all your corn. I'm throwing it into a big bin, and it costs me money to maintain that storehouse where the bin is, and the corn is also rotting in there, so I have to pay for disposal, and I'm, causing a lot of damage to the nearby environment because of all the rotting corn. But I'm willing to pay you a lot of money for this corn. Now the thing is, if you're paying attention, I'm not making money off of that corn. In fact, I'm losing money off the corn. Like, a lot of money off the corn. So, in order to be able to keep myself afloat, I have to take loans. It's okay. So many people are buying these corn things right now that everyone's like, oh yeah, we'll totally give you a loan. Of course we will. You're making all that money. Look at all that money that's moving through the environment right now. Clearly, there's a big demand for corn right now. As a reminder, all the corn is just sitting in a giant pile, rotting, accomplishing and producing nothing. Oh yeah, there's also subsidies. I wasn't even getting into that, but we can go ahead and add that. Yeah, sure. There's also subsidies on top of everything else. Oh, by the way, Zillow, just to defend myself, since I could hear the protest there, the reason this is a bad stage is because there's a bug in how the camera scrolls, like that right there. Did you see that? Periodically, the camera triggers are slower than I am. Which means, unless you know it's coming, you actually cannot see where you're going. Anyways, so then I'm like, okay, can I get a loan to help keep my corn storage facility going? And you're like, sure. Keep in mind, this is corn, which is a very useful product, which could be going towards actual real stuff, like, food. Poop. Well, I accept. I got the sub-tank. That's the part that mattered. And thank you, Von Falkenstein, for the sub. Is it, Zalok? Wow, yeah, I had no idea that being able to fall into instant death spikes, which happens 3 separate times, by the way, when the camera cannot actually scroll down that quickly, qualifies as good game design. I'm going to double down on this. You have convinced me, Zalok. Negative to gameplay. I wasn't sure about it, but you've changed my mind. There's only one way to know the answer to that, Zalok. Anyways, point being, corn sucks. And I mean AI sucks, sorry. Getting distracted here. No, I'll tell you a game I gave this negative to. Mega Man X6. What do you think the answer is, Spartan? Because I've never heard another answer given. I'll also give this negative to Mega Man 1, I'm pretty sure. We don't want farm subsidies to fail. That's just... I know you're joking, but just to be very clear, we need food. That's why that exists, is because humans are stupid and will try to produce stuff that makes money rather than produces things like food. That's why farm subsidies exist. It's to convince people to make food. Yeah, cash crops, ironically, are awful. Reminds me of an idea a friend of mine had. You get a rich guy and you set him in the middle of the desert and give him like $1 million in cash and say, here you go. When you get hungry, you've got $1 million on you. And then just leave him there. I mean, doing that to every billionaire, I'd be completely down with, but that's not even another era. Okay. Positive given. Let's go. So I remember this fight being absolutely insane. What is his weakness? Right. Stop attacking the reactor. God, dude. Okay. I haven't actually seen his desperation yet. Oh my god. Okay. Well, there goes the availability of the wall. That's cute. I have. It's actually on the list, so... Reasonably funded? It's not actually funded, obviously. Oh my god, we got an aimed Heat Man ability. Okay, Jacob Elevator, let's do this. I already like the visuals. Lore Shock, good visuals in this game. I don't think it matters, Act, but like if you put a gun to my head, sure. Okay, that was funny. So now I'm playing Silksong. Diagonal attacks, ho. Seriously, this is just, we're a Heat Man now. That's what this is. I'm not even complaining. Also, by the way, this is my favorite song of the game. Sorry. I know we were playing that game when we were actually covering the Mega Mans. You know, what's your favorite song in a given game? This is my favorite X8 game song. These special weapons are so good. This, I haven't done my full audit of this yet, but this might be the best kit of any Mega Man game. It's silly. It's silly how good the kit is in this game. So it has to be a sim. Ooh. Let me chew on that. And see what that donation was. 11, I think, would be the other major contender. Because 11 had some extremely good kit. In fact, one of the other Mega Man games that I usually think of when I think of good kit would be X1. So X1, 11, and X8, 16. That has happened, Velton Ryu, although not very often. That is a pretty infrequent thing. And at this point, I think we only have like 2 of those games on the book. Good kit for Mega Man game. That's a good discussion. Let me jot down this freaking donation first. Thea Block, Phantom Brigade, and Gravity Circuit. Thank you, Chill Pangolin. Let's actually talk kit. So in a Mega Man game, let's start with the obvious. Amongst the 8 weapons you get, what you want is you want to have a spread. A nice big slow-hitting attack, a rapid-fire attack, a utility attack. You know, there needs to be variety. One of the biggest problems with, I'll use a specific example, Mega Man 3's kit, is that too many of the weapons are the same, right? There's no actual variety in the kit itself. So it needs to be varied. First thing. Second thing, there needs to be, at the very least, some basics, like FPS kind of stuff, right? If that makes any sense. In an FPS, it's a very similar concept because you want to have your big hitting attack, you want to have your rapid fire attack, you want to have your precision attack, you want to have some kind of homing attack, etc., etc. You want different types of kit for different types of situations. Both of those can make good kit, right? But the thing that makes a truly fantastic kit, the thing that pushes it above and beyond, is having utility. Anything that's cool or interesting or fun or unique. So let's go down the list, shall we? Because we have infinite. Boom, boom, boom. This is a dash. So in addition to being an attack, this is actually utility. This is this, but I'm invincible while I'm doing it, and doing damage while I'm doing it. I can also do it at an angle, like this. What I should do. Hang on. I love this song. Hang on. let's do the bamboo stage over here. This is a good place to do this. So, let's just show all this off, because this is a good time to judge the kit and so on. So, like I said, Punk. It's short range, but this is avoidance, this is maneuverability, and this is damage. Oh, and living. So live, movement, and damage all in one attack is very useful, in addition to the fact that it can do things like that. Then we have the charged version, which is just... Well, okay, it doesn't actually show off very well here because we're in a nice big open area, but it bounces. It bounces off of whatever happens to be nearby, like this. That's awesome. That one weapon is already really good. Next weapon. I've already kind of shown this off, but this is fantastic. This is the Spread Fire, and as we'll talk about when we get to Contra, because we're going to be reviewing that for the nest blocks, having Spread Fire is by itself useful. It's called Spray and Pray, is the concept here. And the whole idea... Hang on one second. Can I, turn that down a little bit? Let's just turn this down for a moment. Just for a moment, just while I'm talking. There we go. So that's okay. That's really quiet. I practically muted that. Anyways, just having a Spread Fire is really great. Just being able to pretty much guarantee you're going to hit your enemy. Each of these individual shots don't do much damage, but that's not the point because you're shooting a lot of them. This is great coverage. One of the things that what the Metal Blades were so useful for over in Mega Man 2 was the coverage. You could shoot up and you could shoot at an angle, and it was a wider bullet than your actual lemon. That's what coverage means right there. So boom, 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 boom. Awesome. We've also got the ultimate, which is a vertical attack. Like that, which just deletes whatever's above you, which is also useful. So we've got two great weapons so far. Then we have the other Spread Fire. This one's better used in like a corridor, but you can see it's the same general concept, but now the shots actually bounce too. So this is probably the first time we've seen any kind of similarity between the guns. That's Spread Fire. This is less spread, but this is spread that bounces. So this is what? 5 shots, it looks like? 4, 5. Yeah, so 5 shots as opposed to 3. I would say this is actually, unironically, probably the weakest weapon in the game so far. However, it is still unique because it still offers utility. You can create a platform, and that platform lasts for several seconds. Once again, utility is important too. Not every weapon has to be about killing the enemy. Where were we? So then we have this thing. This might be my overall favorite weapon in the game. Maybe a second favorite. I mean, even the sound of it. Listen to it. That's a thunk right there. Big old grenade launcher. And it is. It shoots a little grenade. It bounces a bit. And then it explodes. 2 things. First of all, this is a big damaging attack. It does a ton of damage. Second of all, it leaves an explosion there. That explosion continues to do damage to anything that's in that explosion space while it's exploding. You also notice the rate of fire is really, really slow, which makes sense. This is your big, chunky hit. It also kills spikes. There's your utility. So, big hit, continues to do damage after it's fallen over, and utility on that. But then, I should forget what the ultimate... Oh yeah, the ultimate is the missile. I'm not sure what the missile does other than just a ton of damage. I know it does a ton of damage, though. I think it's the highest hitting weapon in the game. So we got this thing. This looks like it's doing nothing. This is such a great weapon. This is probably objectively the best weapon in the game in terms of just sheer design. So, to show this off a little bit, here's the range. So it's got a shortish range, okay? But if you're in range, it's auto-aim. But it's not perfect auto-aim, because you have no control over what it's aiming over. And, as I'll demonstrate in just a second, it doesn't shoot behind you, see? You do have to be facing the target in question. They have to be in front of you. But if they are in front of you, even if I didn't have the infinite weapons energy on, by the way, this takes very little weapon energy. So you can spam this even if you don't have this particular gun equipped. Yeah, it looks cool, it's useful, it's great for hitting things that aren't directly in your arc, and it sounds and looks cool. It's awesome. It's fun and fantastic. And we have that attack. So this is just an upgraded version of the attack we just did, which is that. Now that drains energy like crazy, but it also just kind of dashes forward and deletes whatever you happen to be looking at. So then we get to this. This is our homing. It is incredibly spammable, again, even if you don't have the gun thing equipped. And you are supposed to spam this. You're just supposed to absolutely fling arrows at the enemy and just overwhelm them with the homing shots. It is not perfect homing, which is actually good. Just like the electric shot, you do still need to aim a little bit in order to make sure it's actually hitting anything. And that's the big hit, which is just a gigantic wave of destroy anything that's in your way. Then we have this. This is probably one of the more simple shots, but in fact, I think this is very similar to something in Mega Man X3, I want to say. You shoot, it goes forward a little bit, and then it sits there. The thing is, it's that sits there that's the important part. This is one of those does damage per frame kind of shots. And as you can see, it just does damage so rapid fire that it just destroys whatever it happens to be looking at, as long as you can get it in that shot. Now, this is some good variety, too. What this means is this is not very useful against mobile targets, but anything that's staying still for any period of time, like that, is just going to fall over instantly because it's sitting there getting hit by the nice, big, slow attack that's doing rapid-fire shots. It's a weird combination of a slow-hitting, rapid-fire attack. And the ultimate version is just a bigger version, but it keeps going much, much further. And this is just destroying anything that happens to be in its path. This is probably the coolest weapon in the game. So, you get a shield. It has one charge. Anything that hits you with a projectile, it does a smart reflection attack, which does an insane amount of damage at whatever the source of that projectile is. Just like that. Now, this is actually pretty limited. I kind of wish it was a little bit more unlimited to be even more ridiculous, but it's still very, very cool. It is limited in use because it only works against things that do projectiles, but anything that does projectiles is just, it's the end of them. It's also rainbow themed, which is kind of cool. And that's the charged version of its shot. It's worth noting that that does damage across an area, so I don't think they're close enough to show it. But if there's anything else in this vertical space, it would also be dead. Is that everything? That is. So what I'm trying to say is there's no actual bad weapons here. The closest thing to a bad weapon is this, and even this still actually has some good usage, and, thanks to the charged attack, some good utility. This is really, really, really good kit. The first thing I showed off was the fire weapon trim. Literally the first one. Are none of them too good? I'm actually leaning towards no. I would say the only thing... That's actually a good question, Metashinry. Let's find out. Hang on. They do not. They shoot right through it. So I'm going to have to figure out how many positives I give this. Oh yeah, that's also the other thing. Sorry. So there are 2 weapon upgrades. This is part of the kit, but it's still awesome. One of the guns gives you infinite shots, which is what I have. The other gun gives you infinite charged shots. And can I just say, I really, really love that functionality. Infinite shots or infinite charged shots are both extremely useful for different situations and different play styles. Neither of them is arguably better than the other, although I have a feeling long-term charged shots is probably better, but you get the point. I'm gonna have to sit and think about how many pluses to give that kit, because that is some very, very, very good kit. Anyways, I hope that answers your question in way too many words, Mr. Red. Yeah, infinite charge with the black hole weapon. I think 11 is the current king of kit. I'd have to double check myself. Turn the volume back up so I can actually hear the frickin' music. Pretty much, Joe Pangolin. That is awesome. Are they just gonna not drop their... They didn't drop their bombs. They're like, nah, we're good. We're good. Does this go up? No, it doesn't. Okay. Now, if you're really good at this game, I just started playing this game yesterday, so I'm obviously not good at this game. You can probably mix and match these a bit. Or, so I'm not gonna do that. Then also do this while I've got the shield up. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention this, but most of the big heavy attacks stagger anything that has shield. So like the dudes with the shields, the big construction mechs, or the thing I just killed. I'll demonstrate. See? Staggers them. So it actually stuns anything that's shielded. No. There was a snow. That would be an absolutely bonkers, insane amount of work. Done for a game that most people don't even care about. We're honestly fortunate to have one of these fan remakes. Hell, there actually generally aren't fan remakes of Mega Man games. There's just their own things, like Rockman No Constancy, which is its own, completely separate thing. I actually don't remember the Jacob Ladder stage very well. Open up, police! I'm just kidding. X is way better than that. Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of fan patches, but nothing like, a full remake, or demake, or remix, or whatever we want to call this. It's Sigma! Are you following Sigma? What are you talking about? Sigma's dead. Sigma! Sigma! It would almost have been interesting if they did that on purpose and it was just X being in severe PTSD. Oh god, that would be insane, Blade Taval. So you see what I mean? You notice how he is completely no-selling my shots? Not to speak negatively of this game, but this game is total garbage. No. Sorry. Shouldn't joke. I will say this game shares a problem with the original in that the enemy variety is not very good. It reminds me of X6, actually. X6's enemy variety was actually bad. It's one of the rare times that I gave it enemy variety negative. Mm. You're struggling awful hard for a world that's doomed. So it was Sigma pulling the strings the whole time, wasn't it, Vile? He really is. He's so fixated. You're starting to find the pieces together, X. The orbital elevator, the energy, the space minerals, the rocket data. Are out to space. Thing that's allowed this world to survive this long is ours. Times like these, how important it is your precious term, Maverick. I don't care what you plan to do. I'll put a stop to it, no matter what. That charge time is absolutely silly. Ooh, he hurts. He hurts. So I thought we fought Vile in the next stage on this one. Oh, whatever. It's been a minute. Jesus. Flashing lights warning, sorry. Yeah, I've been holding off on using him until I actually have an idea what his pattern is. He does hit like a truck, though. So, yes is the answer. It just doesn't seem to do anything. Jesus. Okay, hang on. Let's blow one of these tanks. Oh, that actually worked. Or I just got lucky. Yeah, this is ultimately why there's no Metal Man problem here. The bosses in this game are stupid. Alright. Oh no, it's the gateway to another dimension. Sorry. I noticed there are a lot of achievements, so I'm just gonna not even worry about that. Okay. I've been to space, yo. Yeah, exactly. Look, I noticed there were achievements for killing them, like, without special weapons, but, like, and? Doesn't seem to be any real benefit to that. So here's our boss refights. Gotta have your boss refights. We've been intermittent on these. But yeah, the amount of Mega Man games we've given negatives... Actually, the amount of Capcom games we've given negatives for boss refights is pretty large. Like, this hits Devil May Cry, this hits several Resident Evil games. I'm pretty sure Dragon's Dogma got this one, too. What? Okay. It might not have been Dragon's Dogma. I know there's something else we've played Capcom that had boss refights. Okay. Oh, we have to start over, don't we? Yep. Hello, Elazar. I mean, you can always ask me something personal. I can always say no, Elazar. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, too. Either that or we're determining the order in which we're going to have to do the refights. One of the two. I almost died from that screw-up. I didn't mean to dash jump. I was trying to position, then jump, and I accidentally double-tapped. Yeah, exactly the Ruth. Can I ask you something really personal? Do you like Mexican food? I'm gonna turn off the double-tap dash. That keeps screwing with me. More than I thought it would. Oh, Okay. No, Elazar. I am what we call neurotypical. So it's 2 at a time. And we do get to decide our flavor of hell. Okay. I don't remember anybody's weaknesses. The ant... What was the ant weak to? Is it this? I know what he's weak to. Or rather, isn't weak to. Oh, yeah, this is insane? Depends on how much progress is saved. Like, if we take down a duo, does that give us a checkpoint? Also, this is a really popular feature in, I think it was the collection? The X collection? One of the collections recently had this as a feature. And it was cool as an optional boss mode. Don't know what anyone's weaknesses are. We're just going for it. God damn. Most people I know are not neurotypical. Yeah, there's a story sense behind this. Okay, so hang on. So this is Dark Mantis, which I want to get over with. I have no idea. I don't know if I was doing any damage to him. That's probably the... I didn't mean to do that. Whatever. Okay, so there's going to be Avalanche Boy, who is weak to lightning, I think it was? Oh, God, I don't know. I'll just look it up. Hang on, hang on. He's weak to lightning, yes. Okay, so let's just try Dark Mantis. I know what he's weak to. Being hit in the face. Hello, Zar. Sounds like parents not wanting to do their jobs again, act. And keep in mind, I'm in favor of regulation. I still think that's the parents just not doing their freaking jobs. I'll tell you what they could do. It's something they actually did implement for a while there. Oh, hey! Oh, I missed the health! I missed the health! I didn't even see it! Until it was too late. I'm just gonna pop this now. Why would you need to see an enemy's health bar? What do you think this is, a video game? So, did we get a checkpoint for that is the real question. Unfortunately, there's only one real way to check. That's die. So what's the ant guy weak to? Mantis's attack. Sure. Get that lined up. Words. Yeah, we're out of E-tanks now. We blew them all on the first boss. Well, on attempts on the first boss. What's funny is there was a really interesting story concept they could have... Well, let's see if there's that checkpoint. There's a really interesting story concept they could have gone with here. Oh, look. Looks like we retained progress. Do you see? They're still knocked out. When everyone can just perfectly emulate anyone else with the new generation of Reploids, right? What does identity mean anymore? Like, who are you if you could become anyone else at at just a drop of a hat? Probably doubly true with something like a Reploid, which, you know, already has some issues in that regard. Yeah, again. It's fine, Zalok, it's fine. He's long since gone from Capcom. I don't even remember where he's working anymore. Let's just pick one other random, because I don't know what any of these are. That's a death pit. Oh. Okay, these are interesting jumps. We actually did stream Mighty Number 9, if you remember it, although that was well before the Oblivion line. Okay, so I'm trying to knock out the Antlion first. Or whatever he is. That's just unfair. If I do, it's on the archive page, Draxian, as it always is. Okay. No, what I said was unfair was I was in the middle of an aerial dash, and he teleported in between when I started the dash and finished the dash. He actually teleported in my way, and I took contact damage from that. And there's nothing I could do about that. I couldn't have predicted it was coming. That's what I said was unfair. Hi! Sorry, yes, Walker. Sorry, you've caught me at a somewhat difficult game. I did see it. Obviously. And that was going towards the comedy block, gravity circuit, and let's see, Twister. Pick something. And thank you, Walker, very much. Always appreciate. I do like the idea of the stage remix concept here. I'm not sure what I think of the double boss thing. I do like that you can decide what your two bosses are, but man, that lack of refill is rough. But it does have checkpoints, which is nice. I don't think I'm going to live through this. Maybe it's better to just die. Enjoy the groceries. Okay. What was the panda weak to? Inferno, I think. So we're going to have Inferno weakness and gravity weakness. Okay. Let's just get rid of that problem. I haven't decided yet, Blue Dragon EXE. I'm still chewing on it. Like I said, this is definitely better than your standard boss refight. But it's interesting, the implementation. Okay, so I want... where is it? Where is it? There. Move! Oh god, I've got two guys making walls. There's no way. There's no way. I accept death. He was hiding in the bamboo guy's hitbox. Did you see that? I think that just means you have chosen these two things. Get on with it. Could you shoot me, please? Please, 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 thank you. Yeah, it's like, hey, you need to go through the door to progress. So let's choose someone else for that, because that felt like a bad combo. Oh, speaking of... Sure game. See, it's like, hey, come here, come here. Okay, so Inferno was weak to this thing. Let's try to get rid of him. Because he's going to area denial if we leave him second. I could actually bait him. Oh, he's dead. Ah! Well, we killed one of them. But it looks like it didn't catch. It didn't keep. So we do have to kill both for it to... Oh, wait, no, maybe? Gigavolt Manowar. Easy answer. Ironically, the first boss I fought, but still my favorite boss fight so far. Most hated? There are 3 that I feel are all relatively bad bosses. That's the Avalanche Yeti, the Dark Mantis guy, and the Flame Bird, the rooster. All 3 of them actually have the same general problem, too. Very, very, very low animation wind-up times to tell which attack they're about to do, and all their attacks have secondary reach. So, like, sweep and then up, or the down and then AoE like that, and stuff like that. So all 3 of them are very hard to dodge if you don't already have... well, they don't even have patterns, so you kind of have to guess what attack is about to come. Or have much better reflexes than I do. What's Gigavolt's weakness? I just realized. Apparently it's this? Wish I could see their friggin' health bars. Why is there no health bars? I'm actually wondering if that's a tactical choice or a design choice, because, like, it's really irritating. Didn't even kill one of them. I'm just assuming that... So, I have no idea is the answer's look. I'm going off of a Reddit post. But, like, I have no idea how accurate that is. I have not been able to find very concrete data for any of those. Hello, Uber Famicom. Jim Carrey. I don't think I've ever laughed at Adam Sandler. I have it with some of his earliest stuff. That would be hilarious, Blue Dragon. I would not say Tim Curry is particularly funny. Yeah, no kidding, though. This might be the best combo I made, and I did it completely accidentally. I don't know what this guy's weak to at all. I fought him with the Mega Buster. Screw it. Wrong actor. Act. Oh, I'm sorry. Tim Curry is amazing. Sorry, you asked that immediately after I was asked about Jim Carrey. So what I read was Jim Carrey. I think I've enjoyed Jim Carrey in, like, 2 roles ever, and one of them is recent. Sonic, if you're wondering. Okay. I have been swapping pieces up periodically, Blue Dragon, yes. I don't think I've done a full suit of anything yet, in general. So, back to this. Oh yeah, the sprite work in this game is so good. I need to give at least 2 more positives away, really quick. As much as Bladeville hates that. You'll have to endure. Yep, and now it's just this guy. So supposedly this guy's weak to flame, I guess? Alright, what's the panda supposed to be weak to? Again, I don't know. I mean, being shot in the face, he might be weak to that. Panda's actually a really cool boss, too. Despite hitting too hard. If he did less damage, he would probably be the best boss in the game. Oh no. The space station's blowing up. For some reason. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing I liked about X6. Rainy Turtleoid. It's Sigma! Sigma? I shall allow you to call me by that name, for I am indeed Sigma. You plan to take revenge on every Reploid, every human, in the entire world. You're completely mad. I'm putting a stop to this right now. Put a stop to what? We already control the moon. That old world has decayed and rotted. We will usher in a new world to replace it. But before that, X, perhaps it's time for our final showdown. Ow. Jesus, he hurts. Oh my god, he hurts. And I have no sub-tanks. Okay. Time to do the old-fashioned method, see if we can do any real damage to him. There is no refill. There's no enemies to refill on. This is it. Okay, that didn't do a lot of damage. That didn't do a lot of damage. Did an okay amount of damage. Nothing. I mean, this isn't so much a soft luck as I'm about to lose my banked lives because I've got like had like 15. Now I have 5. Okay, what do I get down to? So I have 1 weapon left to try. Cool. We'll find out, Bladeville, because I'm pretty sure I'm about to game over. Okay, that's just no damage. So the only thing that was doing any damage to him was this. Good news is this is about as fire and forget as it gets, so I can just focus on dodging. Bad news is his attacks are kind of insane to dodge. I misread that. And we're dead. Wow. Okay. Alright, we might just go back to Buster for this. Jesus. Yeah, I think we found our new negative to boss. We'll see how much of this we have to redo when we game over. Damn it. So, one of the reasons the short animation time is a separate negative is because when the animation time is so short, you pretty much have to predict when an enemy's attack is coming in order to then dodge it. Now let's assume you have an enemy who has 2 separate attacks, both of which attack the lower area, which means you want to be as high up as possible to dodge them, which means you want to be up on the wall. So let's assume you're already climbing the wall as soon as he finishes his last attack. As soon as you're up to the wall, what happens immediately after that is he starts doing his charge attack, which is going to hit this massive AoE attack in the air. It is not possible to fall quickly enough in order to then dodge that, because you have to be not only at the bottom, you have to be like that. You have to be dashing at the bottom in order to dodge his AoE attack, his big AoE attack in the ceiling. So, what I'm trying to say is that sucks. And despite the fact that I have, by the way, I have armor on that halves the damage I'm taking, and I have max health. Yeah, see what I mean? I literally couldn't react quickly enough, and if I'm not already up, I cannot get the height to dodge some of those attacks. Like that one. He only has 3 attacks so far. Jesus, if I had the ability to refill my sub-tanks, I would have this fight. But I don't have any way of refilling my sub-tanks. So we're going to see what happens when we game over, because we're about to game over. This is pretty much locked in. There's no way I can do this. Like, if I get good guesses multiple times in a row, I might manage. His iframes are pretty short, but most of my weapons do almost no damage to him. I've noticed that this game actually has the ability to have less health than 1, by the way. As in, 1 pip is not the minimal amount of health that an enemy can have. You can hit someone several times and it doesn't move their health 1 pip. Damn it. Oh, hey, there's our desperation attack. You've got to be kidding me. Could be Zolo. 2 health for each pip. So his desperation is to do area denial. Great. Okay. Six Sigma. So, hey, we're back here now. I'm guessing we just lost all progress. Oh! We didn't! Color me impressed! Artifact design. Defeat the imposter without special weapons. What special weapon would even be useful? Yeah, sub-tanks don't fully refill you. So, the moon, huh? And yeah, it obviously wasn't Sigma. Duh. Okay. Hold on. Stretching. All kinds of stretching. That was interesting. Yeah, suddenly Sigma. For the first time in the whole game. For no reason. Yeah, it hasn't been Sigma the whole game. That's... Despite X's mad ramblings, it hasn't been Sigma the entire game. Alright. Let me think about this for a second. So first of all, screw that fight. But... It's good checkpointing. Twice, actually. Did you catch that? On the boss refights, not only is it so that I save progress, you know, if I die in the middle of the boss refights, but also if I fight 2 bosses, kill one of them, but then die, the boss I killed is still dead. And then being able to just skip the refights and go straight to the imposter Sigma was really nice. That's good checkpointing, like impressively good. And now we just jump to the moon, like you do. It's important to note it's actually a plot point that you can't just teleport to the moon, it's too far away. So, yeah, we had to get there somehow. Just point that out. I like the idea of the double fights. I like giving you the choice of when and how to fight them. Like mixing and matching your own combos. I also like the the little mini stages. So, what was the name of this stupid stage? Gateway. Yeah, the lack of health bars was weird. Yeah, I agree, Zlo. Hang on. Okay. I'm also gonna chop off the guessing game pretty soon, because this is the last stage. I gave this stage more than one negative in the original, because this stage was bullcrap in the original. For two reasons. First was the fact that it's just instant death spikes everywhere. But second of all, and arguably worse, if you died on the boss, you had to redo the stage. And that sucked. Also, this is what the moon looks like, did you know? Alright, Thor, I'm ready. I'm ready for some good news. Also, nowadays, we have the option to get rid of spikes. We didn't have this in the original, by the way. Really? I'm guessing they were able to squeeze out a little bit of optimization somewhere, Huthor. God. I don't know if you've seen the pop-in in the housing areas. It's actually pretty significant. Yeah, Bob is like, oh, I'm back, baby. I never left. So, of course, Sigma has a palace on the moon. Why wouldn't he? Hello? Hi, Vile. Wily. Elizar, easy answer. Sigma's barely a character. Wily's awesome. So, you still struggle to give up your struggle. You still refuse to give up your struggle, huh? You're so blind that you're somehow convinced yourself your hope remains. As long as I'm standing, there's hope. What am I fighting for? Oh, sorry. I'm tired of violence. I suppose it'd be a waste to just destroy you now. Maybe I'll wait to the last possible moment. Have a little fun with this. Probably not. I like skies and sun and green act. Now, a ship, sure, because I can just debark from a ship, you know. What is Vile? Can someone look it up? What is Vile's weakness? I'm actually curious. Ooh, he hurts. He hurts. Ain't that. I'm not going to blow a sub-10 gate. I want to do more exploration first. Ice. Okay. Oh, hey, speaking of having to redo a stage because I died on a boss. It's a shame lives aren't unlocked. That was such a cool feature of Zelda 2R. For those of you who weren't there for it, Zelda 2R had this great feature, and I mean this, where there were only like 4 1-ups in the game, but they didn't give you a 1-up. They unlocked a 1-up, which was just such a cool feature. I'm shocked no other game... Like, I've been against lives in video games for decades at this point. But if you're gonna have lives, that's a cool way to do it. Because that time, every time you game over, you start off with 5 lives, or 8, or 15, or whatever. It's still a little band-aidy, but man... My freaking ice, there it is. Yeah, actually, Zillow. Wow, that took no time at all. Oof. Yeah, the difference having someone's weakness does. Look at that. Also another double boss, by the way, while we're at it. 7, I want to say? 7 count? Something like that. Aw. Also, the achievement was called Hope Remains. Haha. So, this section of the game. This is the part I remember really sucking. We'll see how this works. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you actually can't defeat the thing that I can't think of the name of all of a sudden. The right armor. So I couldn't remember what they called their mechs in this game all of a sudden. Hey, Wolverine. Aw, oh, that hurt. Wow. Look, X doesn't play fair, okay? You're the one who brought a shield to a gunfight, okay? Don't look at me. What? A lot of weapon energy. Shoot. Yeah, it was a lengthy spike section with no checkpoints, and if you died on the boss, you had to redo the whole section. I was not a fan of that in the original. Let's get a little bit of a safety area, just in case I fall. We still have our 4 tanks, which is good. Yeah, I noticed that, Blade Deval. I'm not sure if that's a programming bug or if that's deliberate. Cute, cute. wrong button. I hit the wrong button. No! Shoot, I don't think they're actually landing. Damn it. There. Holy crap, I'm gonna blow a sub-tank on trash. Reflect does actually work on those. It also does a lot of damage, too. I swear it does a lot of damage. There we go. Well, considering I have 0 lives, I probably should go for that. Oh, ho, ho. Okay. Oh, ha. Okay. Alright, Okay. Now we have a couple of attempts on the last bosses. Oh, you heard me. Plural. Why is there just spikes? Why is there just spikes? I'm not even sure this is actually possible without this spike killer. I know in the original it was a colossal pain. I have played Legends. In fact, I've streamed Legends and Legends 2. And The Misadventures of Tron Bonne. No checkpoints for any of this, by the way, just as a fresh reminder. Don't screw up. I did refill our sub-tanks, that's nice. This game is so weird. Every time it does something to piss me off, it does something I really like. Whoop, 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 whoop. Let's go chill over here for a second. Don't mind me. Okay. That would be really terrible, Pitchful. Yep, I've experienced Nino Island. Because screw you, Dr. Winter. Okay, I'm probably not going to beat the boss right now, but I am going to go ahead and chop off the guessing game either way, because this is it, right? So, get your guesses in right now, if you haven't. The HUD should be up-to-date-ish, yes. It's not completely up-to-date. 1 second. I'm going to check some precedents here. Give me a moment, please. You don't have to, Zillow. It's there for fun. If you put in a negative, you're wrong. I'm just going to say that right now. Wind is knocking snow off the roof. It's pretty windy today. Sorry. Okay, sorry. I was really debating that. And I think I've got my numbers. Thank you, Blue Dragon EXE. I hope you've enjoyed. Lord knows I have. This has been a very mixed game. But, like, definitely more net positive than anything else. I'll put that towards Dual Hearts. And Mega Man Battle Network. And Dealer's Choice. Is there such a thing as eating too much chocolate? I guess I could get rid of this negative. I just realized. Okay. Wish me luck. Anybody hasn't finished guessing, this is your chance. Also, Zillow, you need to put it towards something. You can't just say thing. You have to put it towards something. The liver doesn't like chocolate. Oof. How do you guess? Well, there's a spreadsheet link that was just put into chat right there. So what you do is you type !guess. Then you'll find a spreadsheet, which is all nice and light out. It shows the current game. There's a link to the genre comparison sheet if you want to have some ideas of what other games have reviewed. There's also a little shrine to Platy, because I still miss her. And a general vague indicator of quality of games. Then you put your name in the obvious column, your guess in the second column, and the 3 games you want to put it towards in the third column. I can tell some of these people haven't put anything here in a while, because, like, for example, Eternus has put this towards Armored Core 6 and Space Marine 2. We've streamed both of those. John would put it toward Doom 1 and 2, which we've also streamed. So I'm going to delete both of those because those are out of date. I do clean this list up a little bit periodically for people who aren't participating anymore. It's a good question. Does this have... Damn, it actually doesn't have the super bosses. Hang on, let's see if I can find a good video of that. This might work. Maybe is the answer, Blue Dragon AC. One way or another, that definitely falls under PFR, and I'm not doing it myself. Okay, let's get on with this. Oh, right, let me close this down. Okay. I have no idea what to use on this boss. I guess just Buster. So I'm curious what Sigma's going to like in this, because he had a unique look in X8. We've already had Hobo Sigma. He's ready for Junkyard Sigma. Oh, that's interesting. Welcome, Maverick Hunter. Our meeting was fated. Our destinies come to a head. Right here, right now. The time has come to usher in a new age, and your destruction, X, is an essential part of it. Yeah, please, Blue Dragon. I don't want to redo this stage. Your dedication to what you refer to as justice is what first got me thinking. I realized the imperfection of this world and decided I must change it. Don't blame me for your insanity, Sigma. It's too late, X. The gears are in motion. There's no turning back now. The new generation Reploids were the ones, X. My children are responsible for all of this. Children? What are you talking about? The Jacob Project, the program that gave birth to New Generation Reploids. It only happened because of me. Wallow in despair and hopelessness. You are powerless in the face of the ruler of a new world. Now, X, you'll be destroyed along with the rest of this decayed world. If only this world could be as beautiful as I. Ooh, okay. That is some reach. So yeah, we've had Captain America. We've had Scythe-wielding Sigma. We've had a Claw Sigma. We've had a Lightsaber Sigma. Now we have a Greatsword Sigma. Rock. Sorry. Oh yeah, we've had Floating Head Sigma. We've had Sigma's Doberman. Yeah. I don't know if these respawn, so I'm gonna grab that. We've also had Hobo Sigma. That's not actually a joke. Hobo Sigma was from X6. I actually unironically like Hobo Sigma though, so don't even. I do like how he's using attacks from most of the other bosses. Just the style of attacks, right? Mind me. Okay, I'll blow one sub-tank. Oh, yeah, there's also Super Body Sigma, which he's done several times, actually. He did that in 1, 3, and 5. Sigma doesn't have much characterization, to be quite honest, Blake Duvall. Asking for one isn't going to be getting a good result. So that was fun. Oh my god, it's the character that in this game has only been mentioned like 3 times and has only been in the game once. So, plot twist, Sigma is not actually the final boss. This was unironically considered a thing back in the day. In fact, as I think I mentioned during our X8 playthrough, there were some people who thought this might not be a great idea. Like, this was a risky move, which I just find hysterical. Lumine, are you okay? Am I okay? Of course. Now that you've defeated Sigma, I suppose spelled wrong, you're satisfied. But you see, he merely helped my plan along. The new generation Reploids have been awakened. The new world is at hand, a world of cyber elves. Lumine, don't you understand? That'll just lead to, like, multiple apocalypses in a row. Don't tell me you've gone Maverick, too. Maverick? You know that's not the case, X. That's why you are hesitating. You don't have it in you. Old models like you have to worry if your actions are truly your own. Who knows what might be influencing you at this very moment? However, we new generation Reploids were built using data derived from hundreds of old model Reploids. Oh my god, they're LLMs! Oh my god, X8 predicted it. Right there. That's what grants us total immunity to all viruses. We can act how we choose, as it guarantees our own free will. And that might include acting as Sigma once did before us. Do you understand what I'm getting at here? Yeah, I can change weapons in the middle of this conversation. Is that okay? Why are you changing weapons? No reason. I'm just wondering. Yeah, in other words, they're just Mavericks without being infected by a virus to make them Mavericks. That's it. That's like they act like this is such a big deal, and it's like, okay. No Reploid would choose to be insane like Sigma. Okay, X, my brother in Christ, listen. We need to have a chat. Let me explain to you about human stupidity, okay? Think about it, X. Was Sigma really crazy? Yeah. Yeah, Sigma was loco. Yes, he rebelled against your world. Perhaps due to a virus. Yeah. Even so, his struggle showed all of us how this world is rotten. Okay. Humans using Reploids to perpetuate their accursed cycle of aggression. When did that happen? Is that off camera? That's why our decision to wage battle against the old world was made consciously. In other words, we possess the power to go Maverick at will! Yeah, it's not... Okay, this isn't... X, do you really have what it takes to stop us? No, I got like 5 health left, dude. You're merely a tool of the humans. Nothing but a tool of the old world. And you think you could stand up to those of us who have evolved this far? Don't make me laugh. The world is changing. It's only natural evolution take its course and wipe out all the humans. What are you, Temu Skynet? Now line up to be exterminated. Lumine, I can't help but treat you as an enemy. He just said he was going to exterminate you. What kind of sentence is that? Enemy, ally. This issue isn't so black and white. You are going to go genocide the planet. I think that's about as black and white as that's getting. Reploids, along with humanity, have irrevocably changed. You see, Reploids now have free will. Hold up. question from the back. Okay. I mean, there's a reason why in the Japanese version it was called irregular Blades of All. The nature of their existence has also changed, and you are not needed in our new world. So time to get my ass beat. Lemonade was never exactly an easy fight, but I am low on health and I'm not learning a sub-tank on this. Oh, it just goes right into desperation. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm not impressed with this writing. This is not great. Yeah, we're not infected with a virus. We're just Nazis. Don't you understand? Okay, I'll blow one sub-tank. Just one. He's got a phase 2, after all. Sure, Elizar. Zero was infected with the Wily virus. Okay, here we go. That merged with Sigma's programming and created the Sigma virus. There you go, boom, done. That's it. Oh, limited platform. That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. Banger of a song, though. Oh my god. Well, let's see how our checkpointing is, because holy crap. I'm also curious if those healths will refill. Well, no, actually, I'm mostly curious if the life will refill. Find out in a second. Holy crap. That might give us infinite retries on this. Yeah, the implication is that Zero also killed basically everyone from the classic series. Oh, that sucks. That's not what I was hoping to see. That means we gotta do all 3 of those phases. Back to back. So what, does anyone know what these bosses are weak to? Because I could really use information like that right about now. He even fights like a berserker. Look at him. Big old giant swings. Alright, sorry. Pumpernickel. Looks like we get 2 sub-tanks per attempt, so we need to not go below 2 until we're ready to actually go for this. That does sound pretty ridiculous, Sakta. But, I mean, I've seen more ridiculous things. In Iron Man, no less. What about it, Elizar? I mean, we haven't finished the game yet. I can't tell you the score of the game yet. Because, you know, we haven't beaten it yet. I know this is crazy. I'm not that precognitive. Come on, dude. Give me a little credit. Okay, so it looks like... Of course they use the beam weapon. Hey, Chill Penguin. Sorry, I'm watching a walkthrough right now to try and figure out what their weaknesses is. It's not helping. So I don't... Okay, I don't know what Sigma's weakness is. Fine, whatever. What's Luminae's weakness? Okay, what's Luminae 2's weakness? Let's get that. Looks like gravity, actually. Okay, I can work with that. Okay. I mean, the whole point is that they wanted to have this big reveal moment about how these guys weren't Maverick because of a virus or Maverick because of free will. Problem is, the writing of this game, X8 in general, is not great. So they didn't know how to actually present that idea. It's an interesting idea. I'll give them that. Again, identity would be an interesting topic for a game like this. Just gonna let that happen. Made too many mistakes. I do not Mook. However, X1, 11, and 5 are all at the top, with X7 being obviously at the bottom. I mean, I don't disagree, Bladefall, but, you know, plenty of people choose that on a regular basis, so... getting hit by its easiest to dodge attack, because I just apparently suck that hard. Anyways, negative to gameplay. For real, having to redo these 3 fights if you screw up on any of them. You know, so we got to the last fight. We still have to redo all of them. Like, it's nice that we have infinite retries. It is. This would be much worse if not for that, but... this is awful. I've dinged many games for this exact same problem. I'll name a very good game I dinged for this exact issue. Cyber Shadow. Or... Shadow? Oh, God. The Ninja game. I suddenly can't think of the name of. Hey, Shinryu. Well, good news. I'm doing phase 4, excuse me, phase 3, with 2 tanks. Also, that is literally the background from FF6. Just straight up. That's not even a close. That's just the background from FF6. Fine. What? Okay. Did you notice I couldn't heal for that? In fact, I couldn't pull up the menu at all. So yeah, straight DPS race. $50,000 negatives, obviously. Unbelievable. You may have defeated me, but it's too late to stop what's already begun. I see you've started to realize the situation. So it won't end with me, X, I can assure you that. I can't stand this pain anymore, just make it quick. He destroyed our freaking armor. This is X. The enemy has been dealt with. Heading back now. Roger. Alia's second line in the game. And he just teleports back. Which, sure. The end? I guess? Okay. Cool, cool. Depressing, cool. Who? Zilok? Who's Zero? Has anyone ever heard of a Zero in the Mega Man X series? Yeah, I've thanks to my own loose connections to the speedrunning community, I've known a lot of Brazilian Mega Man runners. It's kind of strange. Okay. So let's do this. Yeah, stay tuned for X9, also known as Z1. Although X5 led into Legends, so whatever. I mean, the ZX is played with actually changing your form when you change weapon powers. A cool idea I kind of wish they'd done earlier and did a better game, but whatever. Okay. So we're here. Okay. No, they didn't do anything good with it, Dakota. I agree. It is a cool idea they haven't done anything with, was sort of my point. This just allows you to swap around your armor pieces. So what's like the suit benefit over there? I can't even see what it is. What's it do? What does the armor do? I love how both suits are just a recolor, too. Again, that's the original game. So X-Drive. Okay, what's that do? Yeah, no kidding, Zillow. If only I could do a Mega Man rewrite sometime. But that didn't do anything. Oh, I could just... I'm invincible. Yep, I saw the review. I saw the trick review. I saw the bar on the left, which shows our invincibility timer. So let's see what the other one is. Okay, so that's our screen nuke. Looks like kills restores it? Yeah. Unfortunately, yes, Truck Reviewer. I am aware of that terrible, terrible cartoon. There were actually technically two, but let's not get into that. Well, we all know the best song in the game, so let's just pull this up really quick. Oh no, it was actually bad. You know that particular brand of, like, bad animation, bad voice acting, bad writing, bad effects, bad everything? Like, I know what you mean by awesomely terrible. I do, but, like, just... So I sort of was assuming we'd, like, unlock something. Like, I remember reading that there was a zero thing. I guess not. So, no New Game Plus. No second replayability positive. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's just go ahead and exit this. We're done with this game. Ugh.
I mean, a full-on...
Shut up. I don't have X8 music handy, so just bear with it. Okay. Oh right, yeah. So here's the cut man. He's 2D. He's literally 2D. Wah wah. He's got a lot of health for being cut man. Look at that. Oh, well, I guess that's it. Okay, next. Why is he turning off all his power-ups? Oh, okay, whatever. Oh, Red from X7. Of all people, you went with Red? Why Red? Okay, fair, Blade of all. Hard to argue. And I don't know who this is. Some lady. With some interesting attacks. Including just casually stealing Sigma's attacks there. Who the hell is she? Oh god, she's got a round too. I was gonna say, that didn't seem... It's apparently she's from Battle Network. Okay. So now there's a round 2. I said that first phase looked like a fun fight, but is this just the first phase again? So just double the health bar because screw you. I'm with Yahtzee Croshaw on that. I don't think that should be a policy. Well, okay. I guess that's the fight then? Interesting. Well, whatever, I suppose. They shouldn't do the fake health bar thing. Like, health bar empties, but then they get a phase 2 and the health bar refills. Just have it happen at the halfway point. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, or just show the health bar. Like, there's options here, right? Hang on, we're at a weird thing. Okay. Yeah, I could unmute this. Oh, it's X. Never mind. It won't be as if you're playing as X. Although there's still a lot of up because jumping's faster, so... Don't worry, that's all I'm going to make you listen to. Just wanted to make the point really quick. So as we're hitting the end of this, yeah, got to start off with the genocide, got to edge it up. Remember, this is the X series. We need maximum edge, which only gets edgier in the Z series. Hold back a little bit in the ZX series, but then the ZX series had its own issues. So, anybody in chat, random question. What was your favorite of the various fan games from your perspective? Maybe it was the stream, maybe it was the game, maybe it's the one you're most interested in, maybe it's the one you're most likely to play. I was really impressed with Castlevania. Really. I absolutely was not expecting that to just kind of be a new, better game. Mega Man, Shovel Knight, like freaking Soten combined with Castlevania 1 was just not on my bingo card. In fact, I think it scored the best of these games. I can double check that. What do you mean so far, Rick? This is it. We're done. We're done! No more fan games. Ever. Unless they get funded, obviously. I know, you haven't been here in a week, but we've been playing nothing but fan games for the last week. And they've been surprisingly good. Enderal is not a current review. And never will be. It's actually vetoed. That's a good question, Blade to Fall. WoW might make that choice for me. Today's patch day. That is to say, maintenance day. So it might be up? Hold on a second. Enderal really shouldn't be on the list. Damn, servers are up. Okay, I have to make the hard call. See, the problem is I've been thinking about getting groceries recently. Because I haven't in a few weeks. Enderal is a Skyrim fan mod, which is really good. I actually highly recommend it. I refuse to touch it. It is too depressing, and I do specifically use the word depressing. It is extraordinarily bleak. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that it's one of those games where there is no hope, nothing can ever get better, and at the end of the game, everything gets worse, and you all die. It's one of those games. I actually try not to even think about it because it bothers me that much. So it is turbo vetoed. Very little chill pangolin. This morning I had a small bit of rice with some sauce. It was good. Ultimate Armor, I don't like the looks of it, but I love playing with it. It is probably my overall favorite armor, and I know that sounds silly because it's like the overpowered armor of Ridiculous Doom. But what I mean by that is there's actually some, for lack of a better way to put it, skill to it. It's really easy to get yourself killed overusing this armor. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the visuals of it, but that's whatever. Yeah, my lunch usually consists of a protein bar. Sometimes I'll have a bowl of cereal. I don't eat much. You know, ironically, Ect, I would say that the primary reason that... the primary thing that differentiates Bleak from, like, Hilarious is how successful it is, how good it is. Something that's trying for Bleak and is just awful, and is, you know, is bad writing or bad voice acting, whatever, that tends to be funny. Something that's really well crafted, well, that tends to actually be Bleak. Yeah, Papers, Please is a good game. That's arguably the problem. I recently had to tell someone no, I wouldn't allow Disco to be added to the list. Which made me sad, but it's vetoed for a reason. How would you do that, Blue Dragon EXE? It didn't let me go into the things. Once I had 2 set up, it wouldn't let me go past 2. I even tried. It's the first thing I tried. I mean, that's the usual approach, Dakota. A lot of racing games have legitimately terrible visuals in the background because you're racing, you're supposed to be zooming by and not paying attention to it. Could be worse, could be X5s. Hate that stage. God. Jump, jump, jump. Slide, slide, slide. A good ride stage in an X game. So we've got the one in X2, which is fine. We've got the one we just saw in X4. We've got the worst one, which is an X5. we've got the actual worst one, which is X7, because I keep forgetting that's even a freaking ride stage. Then we have the 2 and X8, which were both pretty freaking bad. So I'd say of that bundle, not counting this game, the best would have been X2's. For what it's worth, I actually think the specifically the Frost stage here was one of the better ride stages we've ever had. Ever. I mean, yeah, we're getting to relativity at this point. Sorry, I just noticed the Q&A. I was hoping for a patch notes, but there's no patch notes. There is just a Q&A, which says, why X8? Because it was my favorite, alongside 3 and 1. Interesting picks. Are 0X and Axel and the Navigators playable? Nope. And they never will be. Are there any secrets? Just the hidden boss fights. Is the game hard? Yes. How's the performance? I tried to optimize it, but it doesn't run well on lower-end PCs. Are you doing X7 next? I don't like X7, so no. I'm actually surprised at how relatively recent this started. Apparently they started working this in 2022. Not to diminish that, that's still years of work. It's just, most of these fan games came out a while ago. I mean, you could probably turn X7 into something worth a damn, yeah. All you have to do is completely remake it from scratch. Tear out most of its core mechanics and make a new game out of it. That's all. 242. It is nice, unironically, Sobacom. 242. I also completely redo the story. I hear it's a rewrite thing. Someone asked a rewrite question. I missed it, though. If you're there, whoever you are, if you don't mind repeating yourself. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So a full remake and a full rewrite of one Mega Man X game, which would you pick? Same question for the chat. If anybody wants to jump in on it. I think I have my answer, but I want to see some other people's answers first. Oh yeah, I needed to give that negative too. X6. What would you do with X6? I'm not even memeing. What would you do with X6? I mean, okay. So the problem is X4 is the obvious answer, right? X4 has so much already potential on display, and the story is absolute garbage. But it's got good, like, it's a good idea. It's just all of the execution was crap. So, like, polishing that up, sure, done. And the game itself barely needs any adjustment to actually still be an excellent game, so done. I also admit, personally, it's the most interesting story to me. The idea of Mavericks, the politics of labeling, the very concept of a group called the Repliforce, and what they're doing. Like, there's a lot of cultural, political, thematic stuff they could do with that. But the problem, yeah, Hammerhead airships, come on. The problem is X4 is too easy. So if you could redo one other than 4, you can't redo 4. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, or 8. Which one do you pick? Now, I'm going to go ahead and say I won't pick 8 because we have this. We kind of already have a re-rate and a remake of 8. So 1 through 3 or 5 through 7. One of those. Which you'll notice, Loke, is not one of the games I just listed. Damn it, Loke! It's trying to break the rules. I see how this works. You're a rebel! 3... 3's rough. As I showed, 3 was made by the C team at Capcom, and it shows. Because most of the A team was working on 4 at the time, and among other projects. Like, a lot of the level design in 3 is really lacking. Especially for a Mega Man game, especially for a Mega Man X game. Just giant swaths of nothing for huge chunks of the game. It's very strange. Yeah, 6 was supposed to be Ayla and Gate's story. Look, I could swore I said one of the X games, but I might not have. Because the question was, if you were to do a full-on remake of one Mega Man X game, complete with a rewrite, what would you do? But anyways. So 1 through 3, or 5 through 7. Hey, Truniform. Admittedly, I'm kind of with Dakota. 3 is the first one that comes to my mind. The concept of playing around with Doppler and, you know... I would have probably had 3 be the end of Sigma, honestly. Move on from Sigma. Have 3... You know how he's, like, barely together in 6? Push that forward to 3 instead. In fact, I would, because part of the problem here is 7 is the worst, and therefore is the one that is most in need of a remake. The problem is, I don't give a crap about 7. Right? Like, 7 has nothing interesting. It doesn't even have the beginnings of something interesting. It's just there. What's the main point of 7? Well, there's this new kid on the block who's cool, and he's got attitude. Like, that's it. That's it. There's nothing else there. So, and? Well, that's a good question, Trunifor. Let's go to lorerunner.com. Let's look at our reviews. Let's just sort by worst. I feel that'll get us started quickly. Hey, there it is, right at the bottom. So, -23 to story and -55 to gameplay. Honestly, I think that speaks for itself. But that's the point, really. Mega Man X7 is bad on both axes. That's why it's so far down there. X6 has some pretty serious issues. No offense to Loke. But X6 at least isn't like garbage in and garbage out. X7 is just trash. Oh, and by the way, Axel is probably one of the best characters in X7. No, I mean that. The way they deal with Zero is awful. The way they dealt with X was worse. Anyways. Well, yeah, 6 was rushed, which it was. Yeah, Axel is kind of best by default. I actually have never played the Game Boy games, Luke. And I probably never will, honestly. That goes for the classic ones, too. I've never played Mega Man I or II or III. Oh my god, Iris has lines that aren't... Why must Reploids fight one another? Zero, I wanted to make a world where Reploids would not fight each other. Sorry. That's why X4 needs it most. Anyways. So yeah, X7 could go to hell, so that leaves... I know, right, Blade Duval? Oh god, it's X! Ah! So that leaves 3 or 6. Which would I pick more, 3 or 6? Oh, let me think about that for a minute. Listen, I've heard that line said well, true to form, and it's really good. So for those who are not aware, the guy who voices Nero in the Devil May Cry series, I forget his name, please forgive me, is the modern voice actor of Zero. And he's actually good. And he has done that clip, that scene, and yeah, Johnny Young Bosch, thank you. And he's actually made it land. That's not the only thing he's done that's good. I just wanted to comment on that, because holy crap. Yeah, really. Hang on. Yeah, I was gonna say, I could do this by just pulling up the reel, because in the recent reel, which I'm still auditing, but in the recent reel that Mr. Red put together, Mr. Red put a side-by-side comparison of the two. So you can actually hear the original and then the new version, and just hear that difference. Like an anime fan on prom night. Oh, here it is. Should be right about here. And that may or may not sound relevant, but we've heard, I was reminded of this by Gum Gum in chat a moment ago. We've heard Zero say that line. What am I fighting for? Legit. What am I fighting for? And it just listen to the difference there. God, that is so much better. So that's the voice director in me geeking out a little bit. That is so much better. Yeah, like I'm sorry. Can we just? I was reminded of this by Gum Gum in chat a moment ago. We've heard Zero say that line. What am I fighting for? That's so pathetic. Like, it's that thing where you're trying to sound loud, but you don't actually want to peak your mic. So you just kind of pitch your voice up. I'm yelling right now, but I'm not actually raising my voice. And the problem is most people can't do that and still emote. So everything you say just kind of sounds a little bit different and weak and flimsy, and there's no emotion in anything you're saying. As opposed to legit. What am I fighting for? And you could hear that at the back of his throat. You could hear the pain back there that was supposed to be in that scene. Ahem. Yeah, Johnny Young Bosch he does some solid stuff there. Oh no, you're right, Trinafor. I don't know if you were there for me talking about this, but the actress woman who voiced Rock and X in Mega Man X4, Mega Man 8 and Mega Man X4 respectively, didn't know they were different characters because they did all that recording in one bundle because they were working on Mega Man 8 and Mega Man X4 at the same time. So... okay. Act. My boogie. I'm gonna need you to actually listen to me when I say things. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. I'm not even repeating myself. I don't care that much. It does look, that's true. Although I've noticed it only shows up intermittently. I don't know if that has to do with like the popularity of a stream or a streamer for that matter. And Lord knows I'm a dinky nobody nothing. I know it has shown up on my stream a couple of times. Nah, I've done too much voice work with my own voice to do that push-ups. Maybe when I was younger. Yeah, he's an actual voice actor with actual voice direction. He also reportedly is really fond of voicing Zero. He almost always, like... Hang on. Because the thing is... I'm not sure he's really had an opportunity to play Zero that much. Like, he was in the frickin', the mobile game, the MOBA trash. I don't even remember what else he's done it in. I know he's also done it for fan stuff. Like, a couple of larger YouTubers have reached out to him to voice Zero for some of their works. I know they did that whole, like, here's the history of Mega Man X thing for the anniversary a few years ago. Which is where that clip you just heard is from. I suppose that's fair, Act. So I guess that's kind of it. That's him. I don't remember if he was in Marvel vs. Cap. Oh yeah, he's right here. Marvel vs. Capcom. It's right there. He was in Infinite, and he was in Smash Ultimate. He was in Tekken, and 3 apparently. He voices Joshua in Trails in the Sky 1. I would go with no push-ups. Which is why I'm kind of with Zalok's idea of doing something with 6. Because again, it was supposed to be a story about this ancillary characters, right? Like, turning Aelia into an actual character is something I'm down with. First, turning anybody into an actual character is something I'm down with. Hey, the music's almost caught up to the speedrun. This is the stage music for the stage he's about halfway through now. It's actually everything. Yeah, X4... I think X4 is only beaten by X1 in soundtrack, but they're so close that I'm not even sure I could say that so definitively. Yeah, why is the ultimate weapon all organic-y looking? With wires and pumps and just... why? It's just such a strange decision. I've always thought that ever since I first played this. Like, wait, what? Oh my god, that's it, that's it. We need Dispatch for Mega Man. You know, the Telltale game? I mean, considering the person in the chair was literally built into the original bones of the original pitch of Mega Man X1, it makes sense. It's all organic-y. Look here. Look. Let's rewind a bit. Not here, not here. Although this is kind of thrown together, too. It's also noticeably less well-designed than the rest of the game. But, like this shot right here, right? What is this? Why is there this serpent's nest of wires here? This is something they would later repeat in the Zero and Zero X series with, like, the heartbeat areas. You remember that? Like in ZX2. Yeah, bad wiring practice. Get some cable management in here. Jeez Louise. Would have made the final boss of X4 if I killed off Sigma before then. Give me a sec, push-ups. It's actually a tough one. Yeah, like, General. No, his name was General. I'm right. Wasn't really final boss material, at least not narratively, not unless we completely rewrite him, which admittedly we could. Probably Trunifor, but it's not Mega Man or Metroid, I'll tell you that much. Oh, Corrupted's Metroidvania. God, that's been in development for over a decade at this point, hasn't it? It's an old project. I'm legitimately not sure how long it's been in development for. I mean, kernel is just half of X anyways, so you could do the mirror thing there. ...2007. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I sort of forgot that Mega Man X Corrupted even existed. Because, yeah, it's been in development for, 18 years? A lot. A long time. Sorry, I should answer Push-Up's question. So the reason I'm most interested in 3 and 6 for, like, finger snapping a super rewrite is because I think both have the most overall potential. It's nothing against 5 or 2 or 1 or anything else. It's just I think that 3 and 6 are both the weakest entries that aren't 7. And therefore need it the most, but also still have something there that's worth a damn. Because X7, the actual worst, doesn't have any meat on its bones. There's nothing there worth a damn. We know they had already thought about it during X2, True to 4. Something I talked about during that run. I think originally they wanted it to be even more connected than it was, and then they just kind of vagued it up once they got to 4. Don't quote me on that, though. I don't have all my research in front of me, because it's been a couple of years since I did that. No, that was 5, Loke. I think. 7 is the one so disconnected from the others, it might as well be a reboot. That's not a joke. 7, like, literally pretends that 4, 5, and 6, which are reasonably well connected, never happened. And 8 is completely unaffected by 7. So... Sigma became a virus after 1. He was a virus in 2. And 3. Yeah, 6 was actually affected by the events of 5. Go figure. So, as we're doing the boss refights here, as we get to the Sigma boss, I think the music might actually beat the speedrun. Mega Man X8, 16-bit. Plus 11 to story. Believe it or not, that is dead average for a platformer, for a 2D platformer. Which is still good, it's worth noting. I don't want to sound like it's a negative, so forgive me. A lot of that's on the visuals. The visuals were, let's be honest, really freaking good. That is it's about 2 positives per hour, and a ratio of 67%. All of the actual elements of the story kind of drag that down substantially. I don't blame the fan game, that's X8's fault. Gameplay, 32. That is above average, Siranzalok. That is 5.5 positives per hour and a ratio of 72%, which is actually kind of low. But nice and solid, which gives us a final golden number of... Could I get a drum roll, please? Let's see who won. Well, that's actually kind of close. Let me double check that really quick. Oh, hang on. Let's see if we did it right. Why does that keep happening? Why does that keep happening? Did our trash get blown around by the wind? What the crap? I think it did. Oh my gosh. Well, the nice gentleman is actually putting it in the bin for us. Sorry for this delay. I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm actually really grateful to this guy for doing this. Thank you. Even though you can't hear me or see me or know I exist. Yeah, maybe some wildlife? I don't know. Because last night, the same thing happened. I went out and put it in, assuming it was just like a car hitter or something. But looking out just now, it's the same thing. Whatever. Trash people doing their jobs are always welcome. Always much respect is what I'm trying to say. Much respect. Anyways, sorry. So, golden number. Apologies for delaying right then and there. 100. Just gonna let that sit there for a second. 11.51. That is a damn good game. Way better than the original. That's not even close. The original got a 48, by the way. And now here's the thing. I think that's close enough. I need to pull out the calculator to figure out who won. Oh, lol. Blades of all. So let's see. So 10.49. Yeah, I know. I No, it wasn't, Elizar. Your guess was 82. Don't lie to me. Hang on. Sorry. What number did I just say? 10.51. 10.51. 10.49. That is 0.02 off of each other. That's how close that was. That's why I had to bring out the calculator for that. But it's actually Synthelius. Congrats. And that will go towards Dispatch. We need to make my Dispatch game, I'm just saying. Dragon Age 4 and Fire Emblem 3 Heroes. Done. This has been an interesting block, to say the least. We have had some surprises. Like, I wasn't expecting almost every game of this block to be positive. I certainly wasn't expecting, like, the massive improvements we saw in several of these games. Like, Metroid Plus saving was a good example. It's still a net zero game. It's still Metroid 1, but, man, it is so much improved from the original. Same thing with X816, but obviously that's an extremely high score. It's just a very rough score. There's a lot of negatives on top of that, and I can actually see people who really wouldn't enjoy this if they're not particularly good at Mega Man games, because it is unabashedly brutal in its difficulty. Final Fantasy 1R, same general problem. I still gave that a net negative score, but that's because it's still FF1. All the new content was still fantastic. And then we have Castlevania Revamped, which just destroyed everything. That is our winner of this particular block, by the way, at 129. And Zelda 2 are getting 95. I'm still shocked that Zelda 2 could be made that good of a game. I guess that's it. This has been fun, interesting, and engaging for me. Thank you for indulging me. Next, we're going to play a game that you funded, which is War Within. I think we will go ahead and push that to tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and do some stuff that doesn't involve streaming, and maybe even get some groceries. And I'll see you tomorrow.